Yes, everybody, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur. Jack and Dave here to give our reactions to the Twitter sphere, see how you guys are processing another loss, and also, what seems to be looking like, at least to the fans, the potential end of Ange Postecoglou and his time at Tottenham Hotspur. But maybe we're being too emotional, maybe we're being too reactionary. Let us know, please, in the comments, and as well as smash the like button, please, if you do enjoy the Twitter reaction, you do get something out of this. I think it can be good therapy, and I think this one
Totally.
actually might be for some people. So hope for that. Dave, any words before we descend into this?
No words, Jack. I've no words anymore. Let's just get into it.
Dave has nothing left for this Tottenham Hotspur. The
Hopefully, it
regular,
cheers me up.
the regular saying Ipswich are losing.
And you know what? This is how bad it's getting. That's the thing, Jack. This is how bad it's getting.
Yeah, and Ayudi's saying the commentator really said, "Have you seen the bench? It's like a kindergarten."
Yeah,
That's
well, we've been dealing with that for 3 or 4 years now. We've had that problem under Conte as well.
Huncho. I'm thinking this could make the thumbnail, Dave. It probably describes, things quite, I think perfectly or completely saying, I'm having a bad day, not bad enough. Let's just make it worse. Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, yeah,
Imagine,
sums us up.
imagine having, some crazy stuff going outside of, Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. They certainly aren't the club to make things
This is
easier.
this is the thing, though, Jack. For many people, Tottenham Hotspur is a release. You turn away from all your problems in real life. You go to watch football and enjoy it, and it's got to the point where you can't even enjoy that anymore. You know what I mean?
I think someone even joked though that's the reason why people, so many celebrities, with so much money and all this like fame and success, are Spurs fans like Tom Holland and Adele and people like that because they have to go through some sort of struggle. They have to go through some sort of torture, and so Tottenham
Yeah.
Hotspur is their pathway to that. THFC Jackson saying our fans thinking any decent manager would leave their squad in the middle of a season to come manage the worst injury crisis ever with zero hope for reinforcements. Dave, that's where you and I are fearful, right? Is that I just don't have any hope that Marco Silva, Thomas Frank, the Iriola, even a Nagelsmann, at the Germany job right now, Pochettino at USA. Why would any of them leave what they have at their current time, at what they current moment? Why would they want to leave? For this dumpster fire that we have currently at the moment.
That they're not, Jack.
Unless they're
This is
desperate for money and they have some sort of, situation finance, wise. But even then, they're probably being paid enough by whatever job they already have.
well, they're not, Jack. This is the thing. It's a fanciful picture that people are painting that Daniel Levy's going to go and pay Fulham, Bournemouth, Brentford for their manager. He's not going to do it. The last three managers we hired, Jose Mourinho, Conte, Postecoglou, all out of contract, brought in here on a free. So you haven't even bothered delving into the past and what situations we brought these other managers in. Let alone managers like Arne Slot, Nagelsmann, and people like that who walked away from the job, who didn't want the job. We were begging them to come here. And look, like I keep saying, we could keep blaming the manager for absolutely everything. We blame Jose, Nuno, Conte. Look where they've all gone on since Tottenham Hotspur. We're now doing the same to Postecoglou. The reality is, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. When are we going to realise the problem is with the football club? And I'm not making a passionate plea, to keep Postecoglou in a job. I've accepted he's gone. After the Everton game, I said it in the build up to the game. If we do not win that game, not even a draw, if we do not win it, I want him gone. It's just not working out. But the reality is, people need to realise that the inherent problems at Tottenham Hotspur. If we really want change, we can't keep going after the manager and making them the problem. We have to demand more from the board.
Yeah. And then we also have Stafford John Hotspur 2024-25 season highlights.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what Dave and I have felt like trying to explain this season to you
What
guys.
watch along was like.
It's what every watch along has been like, really just having to try to dive into this Tottenham Hotspur, trying to also explain everything at halftime, at full time, having to make sense of this is basically, an accurate representation there. Jersey Spurs saying lost by 1 goal trophy. I'm
Oh,
getting sick enjoyment out of this,
yeah.
everybody. I'm sorry. It's just I'm probably just how I cope, really. Chris saying, "Get this clueless Spanish clown out of my club." Sorry, just practicing for 18
Yep.
months time.
Yep. We're going to be here, Jack. I said it when we start Conte. We'll be here in 18 months' time saying the same thing about the next manager.
I thought that was brilliant from Chris there. Slade Weld, people are so quick to forget that we've gotten an official baguette partner now.
And this is the sick thing. This is the things we're concentrating on. Not trying to replace Harry Kane, not trying to get ahead
He's
of the
taking
decline of
baguette
Son.
meetings right now,
Yeah, we're
Dave.
taking meetings about baguettes and fucking what coffee we want. It's a
Yep.
joke.
I mean, hopefully we have an official cheese partner for that baguette. You can't have a baguette partner without a cheese partner.
By
Mr.
the way,
Black's
Chris's tweet should definitely go on the thumbnail as well about just practicing for 18 months' time.
We'll try to fit them all in. I think I got some good stuff here. Mr. Black saying, remember though, lads, it's Ange's fault that Son missed a sitter and Dragic had the defensive capacity of Mr. Blobby. Now, here's the thing, Dave. I've bookmarked this one because I would say this is something that you and I have said for a lot of other games, under Ange's time here. Times when he's dropped points, times when, it's been a bad loss or, just points dropped when we really didn't need it. And you and I have kind of explained it that way, where it's like, well, if it wasn't for this pretty atrocious error, by this player, if it wasn't for this lapse of concentration, if it wasn't for the poor finishing, which we've said so much that it's just made me blue in the face, it's made me sick, of just having to bring it up every time. This time around, like, this kind of just feels like it didn't, like some people have said, it kind of didn't really matter. You kind of just needed to win the game, whether it was down to the players making mistakes or letting you down or whatever it might be. We've used that card and we used that explanation so many times now that it felt like this game was kind of simple. It felt like this game was just kind of like you just kind of had to win, and he didn't. But I don't know. Maybe
He
I'm
did.
being too dramatic. Maybe I'm being too emotional about
Look,
it.
what I would say is though, is there is something to take from this, Jack. Like, you know, it's inherent with Son this season. You go back to the Fulham game, missed two massive chances in the first half, exactly like he did in this game here, where you changed the course of the fixture. Radu Dragic, I've highlighted, how poor I think he's been since he stepped in. I don't think he's a great signing. We have to realize, yeah, we can bring in another manager, but these problems are still going to be here.
Yeah. Crate Digger saying how to not run a football club mini league.
Yeah, well done, bravo.
We'll see who ends up being the champion. JC, THFC, the current waiting room at Dr. Tottenham is Calvert Lewin, hasn't scored since September. Hoffenheim, 16th in the Bundesliga,
Yep,
haven't won since
yep.
November. Leicester, one win away in the Premier League this season. Dr. Tottenham shall see you shortly. THFC Jackson, Ange Trophy at his next club will finish me.
Well, I mean, look, people made Jose Mourinho the problem, clueless, outdated, not for modern day. Went on to Roma to win a Europa Conference League. We got embarrassed in. Conte, outdated, can't do the way he does things in modern day football. Look what he's doing with Napoli right now. Nuno, nowhere near good enough for this club, tactically inept. It's a gnome. That was the thing people called him, does nothing on the sideline. Look where he is with Nottingham Forest right now.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going with this narrative at Tottenham Hotspur that the manager's clueless, inept, doesn't know what he's doing, it's outdated, you can't do that, this, that, and the other. Or are we actually going to realise the problem?
Yeah, I think they even called Nuno some pretty meaner words than that, if I remember recalling, at the time. And then
Even Emerson Royal, even players, even Emerson Royal, people thought not good enough. What did he go on and do? Just win a trophy recently.
But no, I mean, I think if Dave could afford it, he probably, if Ange wins a trophy at the next club, I think Dave will have to find something in the budget for a Tottenham therapist just for himself, just to talk about all the pain that Tottenham is causing him. Billy saying a 17-year-old kid with more fight than most of our senior players combined. State of this
Yeah.
club. It's just one, again, so many times we need the bigger players,
What a ball, by the way.
the big stars, to shine, the big players to step up, like Sonny, like Madison, so many of these guys, and they just haven't done it, this year. It's been very frustrating. Apollo saying Mikey Moore does more for this team in 15 minutes than number 7 does in 90.
Told everybody he was better than our current wingers.
Invert the Wing. Now, here's the thing. Invert the Wing, I personally think, is an AI robot, but that's just my conspiracy theory. But I don't try to, bookmark them that often. But here's the reason I did it this time is because maybe this is also just giving cadence to some of the people who have been frustrated with Ange Postecoglou, Dave. He says, the funny thing, if Timo Werner was still fit, Mikey Moore probably wouldn't have even seen the pitch today. And that did make me chuckle. Like, if maybe I don't need to put again, Dave. You probably need to see therapists more than you need to be, putting yourself through this further mental torture and gymnastics. But
No,
that's
look, I
part of the
think you
frustration around Ange, right? If that had happened today, that would also just send us into complete meltdown, right?
Yeah, we say that, but Mikey Moore was turning the tide in that battle, before he went out with his illness. Even in Europa League games, he was having way more effect than Timo Werner. The fact that he went out ill then, missed a crucial period, and he's only back. He did play him against Tamworth, so even though Werner was still selecting and stuff like that. So I don't buy into it.
Okay. Okay. Simon Humain saying if it happens, going out and buying 2 to 3 players would have been cheaper and more effective than changing coaches yet again, just so we are clear. Now, here's the thing, Dave. I bookmarked this one because you and I sometimes have said the opposite. It's actually the reason why Daniel Levy chooses to sack the manager is because sacking the manager only costs in and around what 10 to 15 million really if it's a
Yeah.
big expensive contract, and I'm not sure if even Ange's is worth that much. That's like as much as I think
4 year contract,
Conte
probably
and
right.
Jose's was something around 10 to 15 million kind of fee. That's like one Lucas Bergvall. Right? That's like one cheap young, signing that he could bring in, right? And it's actually in fact the other way around, I believe, with instead of
Yeah.
what Simon has said, I think it's the opposite. It is in fact cheaper to sack the manager instead of just bringing in 3 to 4 players that he wants. 3 to 4 players that he wants could cost 100 plus million.
Well, that's it. I think Simon's got it the wrong way around here. I think he means what we're trying to say. I think he's just maybe worded it wrong. But sacking a manager costs you a more expensive side 10 million. Let's say that's the case with 2.5 years left on Ange Postecoglou's contract. What player are you getting in here for 10 million?
Yeah, that's
Come
another
on.
Young and Hook or something that
If even
yeah,
right now, Jack. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
Kinski cost what 12.5 million. We brought him from the Czech league. So, and this is what we've been saying. It's much more expensive to make him, which he has to do regardless of Ange Postecoglou, by the way,
yeah,
is make him go and spend 30, 40 million times over on a player.
yeah. Spurs Express, go and get Ryan Mason. And then Cody Mack, go get the "It's my responsibility" post match
Does anyone
presser.
want this guy though? This is the thing. Like no one wants this guy. He's just, and Jack, we've said this. As long as he's around, he's undermining every manager.
Yeah, totally. Cody Mack saying, "Go get the "It's my responsibility" post match presser answers." Yeah. It's this is one of my favorites. Barney Ronay. Sometimes you just need the
Can I,
right manager to come in and change the whole mood. For Everton, that man was Ange Postecoglou. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. These were I really
it's the
wasn't
same with
expecting it to
Palace,
be.
Jack. They haven't won a game of football. We let them turn us over at Selhurst Park. Now they're sitting above us in the league. It's absolutely madness. So I just want to go back up to Cody's tweet though,
Sorry, yeah.
quick.
Sorry, yeah.
The problem I have with this is, we are getting into the realms where it's becoming delusional. Under Conte, correct me if I'm wrong, where the argument's not more that he needs to take more responsibility. Now we've got a manager that takes the responsibility. Now all of a sudden we're picking him out for that. This is what I
Mm.
keep saying. What do we want at Tottenham Hotspur?
To be fair to Cody, just because I know his position maybe a bit more, I do think he was a bit, and still is, I think, a bit more of a Conte defender. And I think he actually wanted to keep Conte because Conte called out basically the board and Levy and whatnot. So maybe he doesn't like the fact that Ange, calls out or doesn't call out the board. But as we have said before, kind of the reason they don't call out Levy and the board is because they would get quickly sacked, basically. So they wouldn't stay in the job that long.
Yeah.
But I think just to be fair to Cody, just since I know his position. And I'm sorry, everybody, that sometimes I have been smiling and laughing at some of these. I'm just at that despondent, that just sort of out of it at this point, that maybe this is my response mechanism. But I did find Barney Ronay's tweet here actually very, very funny. for for Everton, that man was Ange Postecoglou. He brightened our mood, Ange, in the first 10 games, and now he's brightening Everton's mood in the first 10 games. Invert the wing to the end. Should adapt brigade. There you go. This is a disaster that happens when a manager abandons his philosophies. Now, here's another reason why I bookmarked this person, because again, Dave, I disagree, because Ange has made it very clear for a very long time that he pretty much does not adapt, does not want to change, does want to basically make sort of, his philosophy as accepted and as basically, you know, e- embraced throughout the whole club, as possible. He wants it to be embraced throughout every single facet of the club. And he's made that very clear. So now all of a sudden that he has made a big change and has done this weird back three, back five sort of thing. as I've said to you behind screen and everything, I just think that's, too late. I think he's become a hypocrite. I think he's now, sort of he was a live by the sword, die by the sword guy, and now he's all of a sudden flipped on that. I don't think you should the way that this person has put it, I just think is actually covering for Ange when I don't think you can do that.
Do you know what? I disagree. I think he's absolutely spot on this
Okay.
one. It's to the notion of everybody that said, "Oh, well, Ange needs to play a three at the back or play a five at the back." This team's better suited to a wing back system. He's getting it all wrong. It pays notion that the reasons why they were Ange out. Well, it's also wrong. They were wrong on that. To say it got worse when he abandoned his philosophies. It's true. We were 3-0 down to Everton at half time when he abandoned his philosophies and done what many fans, to a degree, were asking him to do, which was experiment, play three centre backs. We'll look a lot better, this, that, and the other. He's absolutely spot on. It was disastrous. So it goes to show that, it's not just as easy as what some people think it is or as some people say. He done that today and it was way worse than what we've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah, but isn't kind of
He's not having a go at Ange. He's having a go at the people that are saying to him, "You should try this philosophy. You should try that. It looks so much better." Well, he's just saying, "Well, he tried that today. It wasn't."
Oh, yeah, and it showed that it didn't work, but I'm also just that's where I'm upset with Ange because
I agree with you on
he
the
made
Ange
such a big deal
Postecoglou
for the
point.
fact that he doesn't do that. He made such a big deal that he never does that, doesn't do that, and yet he did.
Yeah, but this is the thing. He's not aiming that comment at Ange. I agree with you what you're
Ange.
saying on Ange Postecoglou, but he's not aiming that at Ange.
Uh,
He's saying to the fans that were saying, "Oh, he needs to play three at the back. He needs to adapt." And everyone making it
mm,
sound idealistic. And I've always
mm,
maintained when you bring in the managers we're bringing in, Jose, Conte, Postecoglou, they don't know how to adapt because they're not used to it. They've never had to adapt at other clubs and stuff like that. They've been winners everywhere they go, and we adapted today, and it's proof that when you're asking a manager to abandon what he believes in, necessarily the grass isn't always greener on the other side like it's been painted.
I'm probably just not understanding maybe the tone of the tweet maybe is yeah,
He's
there's
not having. He's not defending Ange. Basically, what he's doing
yeah,
is taking the notion that Ange needs to play the three at the back. It looks so much better. Well, he done that today. It didn't work. It didn't
right.
look better. I think that's what he's basically saying.
Yeah,
The people that were of that opinion, it's
wanted him
not.
to
He's
change
not
for every
defending
game.
Postecoglou.
Yeah, wanted him to change for every
Yeah.
game to bend in. Yeah, I think I'm getting it. LA Baller saying, I think it was from this was actually funny. I'm trying to find it here. Saying, um, what was this tweet? It was saying when you realize Decky's next and you can't do anything about it. Talking about I
Oh,
think the injuries and Dave exactly his response is what that person was looking for. And then this person wrote, "If Decky stays injury free this season, I'm eating sea moss every single day," which I loved. Absolutely loved that.
do you know
Yeah.
what? That hasn't even entered my thought of possibility, Jack. Actually, that's
Uh,
just made my day worse. Thank you for that.
yeah, really. What a dark thought indeed. My prediction from John Bass. My prediction: Ange gets sacked. New manager in. We get a few players back and stay up and win no trophies. New manager gets a few signings in the summer. Then 12 months later, we enter similar position to where we are now, underperforming. New manager gets sacked. Levy out. It's the cycle over and over again.
Perfect. Great tweet.
Zeus, me today. One day the sadness will end, but I don't think today's that day.
No, definitely. Is it even going to be this year, Jack?
Who knows? Flav, this is sad to see. His famous tweet, Dave.
Yeah.
No, he's done
Well,
it.
look, I think it's inevitable. He's got to go. That's the thing.
He's a
Even
big
though,
defender of Ange. Flav, too. He's a big defender of Ange, I
yeah,
know. Sad to see. Cody Mack, if we win the promotion playoffs next year, does that count as a trophy? Billy saying being bottom half is actually kind of a vibe. The hate watches become more important than your actual team. I thrive in this sort of environment. Jamie O'Hara saying, "I'm sorry, this
go
can't
on.
continue regardless of injuries. It's absolutely embarrassing all over the place defensively, shocking in midfield. It's one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time. If we're not careful, he could be dragged into a relegation battle. Sacked? Question mark. The only reason I bookmarked this because I was saying to Dave is that this is probably word for word what Jamie will be saying on Talksport tonight. It's like he's pre-written his
Mm.
script. Matt L.
Why didn't he
Spurs.
go after the forward line as well? Why did he leave the forward line out? Just curious. I
He
might have
does.
to go in under the tweet and ask him.
You
Why haven't you
should.
highlighted Tottenham's biggest problem?
Brendan Johnson didn't play this game, to be fair, but he is quite critical of Brendan Johnson, Jamie O'Hara. Matt L. Spurs, and this was at halftime, which I just thought was amazing that he tweeted
This
this.
is a cracker.
At Trying Just Stop Oil, hope all is well. Are you near the Goodison Park area at all, please? It's become pretty urgent.
That one has made my day, actually. That is a brilliant one. Well done, Matt. Well
All
done, man.
right, everybody, I'm going to release you now.
That could be thumbnail worthy, actually.
Yeah, I think there's so many ones. Let us know which one I should have done
Good
because I
show,
am going to
Jack.
have to leave out one of them. So let me know which one I should have done in the comments. Like I said, apologies that I'm laughing from a lot of these. I didn't really know what to do. I thought I'd just find the darker humor ones, and I got some enjoyment out of it. Hopefully, you did as well. But please, everybody, let's try to ride together, stick together, continue to watch, whatever sort of stuff we'll be putting out there. It's to give ourselves therapy as well as give you guys therapy, hopefully. And we'll hopefully ride through this journey together, this 2025. Not off to a great start, but hopefully it ends strong. We'll see you next time, everybody. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.